We're able to look at the affective theory of learning in the last class. Successfully, we'll be able to look at the basic levels of the affective theory of learning, on which we have receiving, organization, responding, and a lot more others. Receiving has to do with how the learner of the second language is able to accept the norms of the target language. It's almost like an Igbo man going to America and how he's able to accept they are wearing short dresses and all that. And the second level of language, we have characterization. Characterization. That you don't want to learn to just him out for our own self. Are we listening? Ian. Yeah. Stand up. Do you love God?
For so many times, I have tried to place myself into the shoes of a man called Job. How a man can lose all he has in the space of a few hours and still refuse to curse God is way beyond my mind's comprehension. I have tried to fix my legs into his tight-fitted designer shoes, but they're not my size. Or maybe I just don't trust myself to love God as much as Job did. One of the questions that keeps tossing and turning itself in the mattress of my mind is this: do you love God for nothing? If there was no roof over my head, no beautiful souls to call friends, no comfort to rest in, if my hopes and dreams were shattered right before my eyes, if I can literally watch my life deteriorate right before my eyes, will I still love God like I did when things were going smooth? I hope to someday answer that question without the slightest hesitation. How have we become a generation of Christians who go to church on Sundays for the sole purpose of decreeing things into their week while forgetting to worship God just for who He is? How have we become a generation of Christians who would rather be safe than true? People who love the praises of men more than God. How have we become a generation of people who lift up holy hands to God when things are going smooth, but drop those hands in anger when things begin to go rough? Shouldn't we love God in the good and also in the bad? How have we become a generation of Christians who love God only because of what we can get from Him? Take a moment to reflect on the labors of the apostles. Think about the whips they got for the gospel. Paul moving from prison to prison. Peter could not afford to be crucified the same way our master was, so he begged to be crucified upside down. These men walked miles without tiring. They were ridiculed yet never wavering. Silver, gold they had not, still they loved God nonetheless. They were persecuted yet counting it all joy because they knew that the testing of their faith produces patience. Now, bring your mind back to the present. When you look at the lackadaisical way that we live as Christians, do you think that the labors of the apostles were worth it? I ask again. When you look at the lackadaisical way that we live as Christians, do you think that the labors of Paul, Peter, James, John, Jesus were worth it? Paul fought hard just so the gospel could get to Africa. These men lived for a cause that was bigger than them. Money, silver, gold, fame were counted as dung just so that they could gain Christ. And when you look at the lackadaisical way that we now live, all you see is a life that's a direct contrast to the kind of life Jesus died for us to have. How did we get this drowned in our own selfishness? How did we get this bad? Worship has now become a ritual that has to happen in the four walls of a church building. Whatever happened to worship being a lifestyle? Sermons on dying to self, living by the Spirit are considered taboos because pulpit preachers with the tag pastors slapped to their names have a heart that yearns to please men more than God. When will we start really loving God above all else? When? If there was no roof over your head, if your parents were killed, If all you ever thought you had, you lost in a single second. If your hopes and dreams were shattered right before your eyes, will you still love God like you did when things were going smooth? These are some of the questions that keeps tossing and turning itself in the mattress of my mind, and I hope to someday answer them without the slightest hesitation, because until you love God for nothing, you will never really worship Him in truth and in spirit.
Mr. Athletic. Oh, yeah.